Good afternoon. I'm here to inform you on the danger of opioid use and how it causes major concerns in our communities around the world. Many people are overdosing and dying from opioid use. Stricter regulations and fines could help put an end to the crisis. Opioid drugs has caused more deaths than any other painkiller prescribed over the last 10 years. Stricter laws should be in place for physicians, pharmacists who prescribe or distribute these drugs. Many people are being exposed to opioids, which is leading to addiction, to an overuse of the drug, which is leading to more and more death and severe addictions. Given the high percentage of opioid death, I believe stricter laws and regulations and fines should be in place for distribution companies and medical professionals who are prescribing the opioid drugs. Opioid drugs are a class of drugs that include the illegal drug heroin, synthetic opiates such as fentanyl, and pain relievers available legally by prescription such as Oxetine, hydrocodone, Vicodin, and morphine, and many others. The emerging opioid issue has become a public health crisis with devastating consequences, including increasing in opioid misuse and related overdoses. According to the United States Department of Health and Human Services, national data shows the age group with the greatest past year non-medical use of opioids is young adults, ages 18 to 25 years old. And the greatest use of prescription opioids is among adults 26 and over. The overuse of the opioids is the leading cause of the rising incidence of newborns experiencing withdrawal syndrome due to opioid misuse during pregnancy. People who repeatedly use opioids over time, their body slows its production of endorphins. The same dose of opioids stops triggering such as strong flow of good feeling. Women are more likely than men to have chronic pain. Compared with men, and women are also more likely to be prescribed opioid medications, given at a higher dosage. Women may also have biological tendencies to become dependent on the prescription painkillers more quickly than men, which is why we need to get educated more on the drug. The most important step that can be taken to prevent the addiction of opioid is to recognize that it is no one is safe, and to enforce strict laws and regulations to solve the epidemic in our communities. In the late 1900s, pharmaceutical companies reassured the medical community that patients would not become addicted to the opioid pain relievers, and healthcare providers began to prescribe them at a greater rate. Increased prescription of opioids medications has led to a widespread misuse of both prescription and non-prescription opioids. Opioid medications has led to a widespread misuse of both prescription and non-prescription opioids before it became clear that these medications could indeed be highly addictive. Many pharmaceutical companies and doctors are going against federal guidelines, and immediate attention from the government is needed. Physicians who are prescribing the drug should be held accountable for overprescribing the medication. If a physician is not educated well on how to prescribe this opioid medication to our community, we will lose a lot. More people and a lot more older people will just be addicted to this pain medication. Physicians who are prescribing the medication should be fined by misusing the prescription. They need to have their medical license taken from them. Now there are kind of things in place, like the prescription drug monitoring programs we have. which I have a little prescription drug monitoring program, how it can be very effective to monitor the use of opioid drugs, as the federal government recognizes the serious threat that opioids pose to these communities. Nationwide stakeholders, including academia and provider groups, are joining efforts to develop solutions. In order to keep opioid use down, more attention from the federal government and local government officials should be put onto prescription drug monitoring programs. Across the United States. Manufacturers should be held responsible by the federal government the amount of product that is being sold, the amount of product that is being distributed to our communities. This would be the first line of defense if the federal government monitor the way the opioid drugs is being handled out here. This will be considered the first line of defense, because without the making and selling of this, physicians, pharmacists wouldn't be able to prescribe opioids the way they have been doing in the past, which has led to deaths, overdosing, and addiction. Educating healthcare providers, pharmacists, and patients more and more on the risks associated with the chronic pain medication, especially opioids, should never seem overwhelming to them. Without educating and enforcing stricter laws, the younger generation will fall short on the awareness of the opioids and how harmful it can be and the effect that it can cause on them in the long run. So I believe that if the federal government have these monitoring programs in place, all from the insurance company to the healthcare provider to the state health department to the law enforcement, and monitor the way opioid use is being distributed or even being prescribed in the community, will be a great solution. Here's some references I have. The Opioid Crisis, a Call to Action. You can go to www.iicp.org for opioid crisis call to action. Also the CDC.gov, drug overdose prescription opioids and strategies to prevent the misuse of opioid drugs.